jumped up to meet Mudbug. So I'll be heading across the bridge in just a minute and going into Vermont, hiking south. There's the bridge up ahead. That's the border between New Hampshire and Vermont. You can see it's a pretty gray, rainy day today, but we've had such exceptional weather lately, I can't complain. It's not raining at all, I'm not wet, and it's keeping things cool. The forecast is that the temps are actually going to go up in the next several days in the high 60s and even into the 70s, so I think I'll be back hiking in shorts pretty soon. There is a deer over there just hanging out. Hi deer. I don't know what it's doing, but it's right over there. Just chilling. There's my sign. I'm making it into Vermont. Here we go. I'm in Vermont. Yay! Alright, I've hiked about an hour from Hanover. The road goes from Hanover into Norwich and up Elm Street, which takes you out of town to the AT, and there's a little parking area here. You can see the car behind me. And I haven't had lunch yet, so I'm going to stop right here and eat some lunch before I go down into the woods in that direction. It was not supposed to rain all day today. The rain was supposed to end by early morning, but it hasn't. And it's making it a very drizzly day. And with all the leaves that have fallen on the trail, it's a little bit difficult to actually see the trail sometimes. So I'm going to have to keep paying careful attention to the blazes and make sure I don't wander off in the wrong direction. Other than being a little bit hard to find under all the leaves, the trail today has been really nice. It's pretty smooth, a lot of just puds, you know, pointless ups and downs, up, down, up, down, up, down, but not painful ones, just little ones. So that's cool, and yeah, not too many roots or rocks, so that's a welcome change from some of what I've been hiking in recently. And I am just a few miles, I think probably about 3.5 from West Hartford, and I am hoping that when I get there I can stay in the barn that belongs to a trail angel. I'm not sure if that'll work out or not, but when I get there I'll look for them and see if I can make that happen. This is what I mean about trying to keep track of the trail. If you look around, it's a little bit unclear which path to go, but every now and then you see a white blaze. I'm sure there's one up here. Well, that looks like a faded one, but I'm sure there's one that's a little bit more clear somewhere up here past this blowdown. It's a little before 8 and I am heading out of West Hartford. I just stayed last night over, that's Linda's house, and the blue building is her barn. She was kind enough to let me stay there, and I really was just expecting maybe a roof over my head, but it turns out she had Wi-Fi, cold sodas and drinks, electricity in the barn, so I was pretty happy. And now, unfortunately, it's raining. It wasn't supposed to be raining, just cloudy today, but it's raining. And I've got about 17 miles planned, so I am off into the woods, hoping not to get too soggy. Judging from Guthook's elevation profile, the order of the day today is going to be puds, pointless ups and downs, a lot of 200 or 500 foot climbs up and then down again. Most of it's through the woods, but as you can see right now, I'm walking through some, I don't know, blackberry, blueberry bushes, no berries left. And there are some fields like the one up ahead, so that'll give me a little bit of variety. But for some reason, and I've only been hiking not quite an hour, but for some reason that first long incline was really difficult for me, and I don't know if it's just because I'm not awake or if I just have residual fatigue from running through the 100-mile wilderness and doing Katahdin, but I'm feeling pretty beat today, so I'm hoping that my breakfast will kick in, I'll get warmed up, and I'll feel a little bit better about the rest of the hike. I just came up from where I shot that last little bit of video coming up the hill and found a fire pit and I guess some stealth camping area, but a cute little bench right here. It says Vermont, relax and enjoy. That's a good reminder for me. It's a field. I have just come out of the woods and I have not walked up a field in a really long time. Giving me flashbacks to Virginia. I just came across that field over there. Actually, the AT kind of skirts the edge of it and crosses Cloudland Road down there. And there's a little creek where I had to get some water, so I sat and had a quick lunch break. And now I'm kind of zigzagging over these sort of open areas. It's very pretty, but I also think the temperature's dropping. I'm getting a little chilled. I went ahead and put on my fleece while I was eating lunch. I kind of wish that I had my gloves, but they're buried in my bag because I didn't think I'd need them today. So I'm going to see how I do in the next little bit, and if I have to, I can stop and pull them out. I was just cruising up a hill, and I saw this little memorial for Van B. Johnson. Kind of sweet. Well, it looks like I need to ford a creek in rainy weather. Means a lot of water is flowing, and the rocks are going to be slick. So hopefully I can do it and stay dry. Success! I made it to the other side. I've been up and down, up and down, up and down, and crossed several roads, and I just came out of the woods to this little field on my way down to yet another road. And I wish it was a little brighter to do the colors justice, but you can see fall's in full bloom, and the mist is really pretty hanging over the mountains. I'm getting an early start this morning. I spent last night in another barn that belongs to a gentleman that lives in that house just right through the woods there. Not very far at all, but it was pretty rustic accommodations, but it worked. I had a bed to sleep in, so that was good. And I cut it short a little bit yesterday because of the rain. And I slipped and fell and was slipping a lot without falling. And it was just having one of those days. It wasn't supposed to rain, and it just really was messing with my mind. So I stopped at 13.5 instead of 18, which means I've got a few extra miles today to get to Killington. But I'm hoping with the early start that I can make that happen, even though there's going to be a lot of up and down, a lot of elevation change today. So I know it's not going to be the easiest day, but planning to get it done. Well, I am back at the little bridge where I started this morning. I got about 2 miles up and realized this just wasn't working for me. Unfortunately, I think I re-aggravated my foot when the sprained foot, when I fell yesterday. It really started hurting as I was climbing up the uphills. It's pretty hard to keep track of the trail right now with all the leaves that are down and the forest floor being, it's not just a clear, well-worn path that's covered with leaves. And I kept missing the trail and stopping and having to find a blaze. And the blazes here are spaced out more than other areas of the trail. They're like, I don't know, 30 or 40 yards apart, I would guess, just far enough that you can't quite see one from the next. So you have to wander around a little bit to find one. And sorry, there's lots of traffic here at the road. Anyway, so between that costing me time and the pain of my foot, I thought there's no way I'm going to make the 20 miles to Killington today. So I just decided to regroup and called the Killington Motel. They've got space for me tonight, and I found a shuttle driver who's going to pick me up here in about half an hour and take me into Killington, and then I will figure out what to do about the rest of my Vermont miles. Well, I'm here at the Killington Motel. I spent the day here yesterday, and actually just had a really good chill Nero day, I guess you'd call it. I did get a couple miles in, but not much. And I thought it was interesting. Jerry came and picked me up, and he thru-hiked in 2005. And one of the first things he said to me, even before I told him of the challenges I was having, is, wow, he said, it's really dangerous out there right now with all the slick leaves. And he mentioned that he's a trail maintainer and does a lot of work in the area. And I thought, okay, it's not just me. I'm not being a total wimp. It seems kind of weird to feel like you're being beaten by leaves. But after losing the trail several times and just having to stop and look around and go, well, where's the next blaze? Where's the trail? And the fact that I had not seen any hikers. When I headed out from Hanover on Sunday, I saw several day hikers. It was a holiday weekend. Monday was Columbus Day, and I hiked all day and didn't see a single hiker, not one, which was pretty weird. And then as I was heading out yesterday with a plan to do 20 miles, I just started getting really anxious. It just didn't feel right, and I have learned to go with my gut. So came back here, and this place, Killington Motel, was great. I mean, I had called, it was probably a little after 8 when I called in the morning, and when I got here around 10, they had a room waiting for me, and just everything I needed to relax and kind of regroup and figure out what I was going to do, because it's definitely very discouraging to be thinking about not getting the miles in that I had hoped to be able to do this week, and what that means for my hike overall, and whether I'm actually going to be able to qualify as a
thru-hiker with the ATC guidelines of getting all my miles done in a year. So I had a few moments, a few tears shed, but what I decided ultimately was that I'm going to take a couple days and go home. I miss my family like crazy, and I just feel like that's where I need to be for just a day or two. And then still planning to do Virginia next week. It's 66 miles, a gap that I need to fill in, and my brother is going with me. And actually, he's going to pick me up in Georgia. He lives in Florida, but he's driving up, picking me up in Georgia. We're going to Waynesboro. I'm going to stay at Stanimals, and then head down to Punch Bowl, which is where I had gotten off the trail when I was having massive foot issues. And then we're going to hike the 66 miles back to Waynesboro. So I'm excited about that. And then after that, hopefully be going up to New York and coming south. And that is a little bit in question right now, just depending on the weather and the trail conditions, but I've already got a flight booked. I'm going to go see my daughter in New York City, and so I might as well get on the trail and see how things go. So that's my current plan, and if you're still watching, thanks. I appreciate all the support and encouragement and the comments that everybody's been giving me. I definitely appreciate it, because it is certainly hard once all your friends summit, once you've been to Katahdin, you feel like you're done. And you're not done with the trail until you've actually done the miles. So I still got a lot of work to do, but I appreciate all the support and encouragement, and hopefully I'll find a way to get it done.